Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Howdy, America. Well, I went to bed with a bad feeling because the numbers were not looking good. And I woke up today, and America's looking great. And by America's looking great, I mean, fuck. Democrats, of course, went into this election full of hope. And as a Democratic socialist, I was right there with them, feeling that hope. But here we are. Turns out most of America's pretty fucking stupid. Donald Trump is the president-elect, providing that nothing super weird happens in any of those states where it's super close like Arizona. Even then, honestly, he would have to flip some of the states that are already projected to win. But by the time you watch this, probably won't even be a thing. Donald Trump continues to be the world's shittiest version of Teddy Roosevelt. Exactly what America needed. If you can't tell that we are currently in the process of repeating the 20th century, only shittier, it's because you don't know history. Donald Trump's policies are going to be bad for America. Women's rights are on the fucking rocks. And we'll see what they want to do with that beyond that shit. You know what I mean? Like, abortion could just be the beginning. A lot of conservative voices are out there talking about totally insane bullshit like ending no-fault divorce. It's like conservatives have the poorest concept and conception of how things actually work, and it's pretty fucking amazing, actually. We've elected a man who has no real policies. Actually, that's not entirely true. He's announced a couple of policies. They're just horrifying fucking nightmare fuel. America's deficit spending is going to go fucking berserk because of Donald Trump. Absolutely no doubt. The tariffs will not make up the difference in any type of tax cut that he might propose. In fact, the tariffs are going to cause our inflation to go through the fucking roof, especially if they're anything like he's been describing them. Now, it's possible that he'll get in there and he won't be surrounded completely by horrific yes men. Now, that seems unlikely considering what he and the Heritage Foundation have been up to. In fact, I don't know if anything good's coming. Here are my predictions for the Trump presidency. Prediction number one. They're going to coast off the initial wins of the Biden administration, which is what they'll be feeling for the first 2 years of his administration. If Donald Trump is successful in passing any of the things that he is currently doing, I have some predictions about that. If he actually deports every illegal immigrant in this country, they will be removing roughly 10 to 13 million people from our consumer base. Which, just so you know, do you know why China is so good at capitalism? Do you know what their real advantage is? They have the most consumers in the world. The more consumers your country has, the more buying power your country has. The more buying power your country has, the more effect on the market your country will have. There's a reason that American corporations want China to see our movies, to buy our products. It's because their consumer base is fucking ridiculous. And we have decided, and if Donald Trump successfully deports a bunch of people, he will be removing both members of our service industry, but also our consumer base. That's a small golf applause for Americans not understanding economics whatsoever. Tariffs, in fact, are a tax whose cost will be passed down to us, the consumer. And when you consider that the majority of American manufacturing is large scale manufacturing, that is putting together really big things that are expensive to ship from overseas. Did you know that most Japanese car companies have manufacturing plants in America to save on shipping costs? Yeah. It's American companies that are always trying to go to Mexico. Fun facts. Fun facts. Donald Trump, of course, lied about that one Mexico factory. Turns out the reason they came back to America was because of things that George W. Bush had done. But of course, this is only the continuing actions of Donald Trump, which is to take credit for things he didn't do, things like declassifying JFK files. That wasn't Trump. That was also, ironically, George W. Bush. But hey, let's get the party going. It's a bad day in America. Oh! Here's some more shit that's gonna go down if I'm right. Let me be very clear here. I would like to not be right. That may sound insane to some of you, but my predictions for Donald Trump are fucking bleak. He's going to massively balloon the deficit. He is already one of the highest deficit spending presidents in fucking history. He is going to continue to deregulate America in a way that actively makes us unsafe. He is going to actively undermine climate change efforts, which is bad because climate change is, if you hadn't been paying attention, is kind of accelerating. Still not as fast as Al Gore said it would happen, but if you haven't noticed, it's been getting worse over the years. It's because you're not paying attention and you weren't here for the winters in the 90s. I mean the year of the 90s. We still could have winters in the 90s in the future. And I mean temperature this time, not the years. Let's move along. Women's rights are probably going to get bleaker. I don't know exactly in what direction, but abortion rights access that is not enshrined in the states could become very unpredictable where you can get an abortion. And that's provided that they don't, fucking create a national ban. A thing Donald Trump refused to say that he would veto. I know you're not worried. I've got daughters. I'm very worried. Very, very worried for them. Let's move along. Like I said, I fully expect that Donald Trump will do irreparable damage to our economy. Moving to an isolationist style economy at this point in history is batshit insane. For starters, there's a lot of products we don't make here. And there's a lot of products that we can't make here. We can't grow coffee in America? I repeat, did you know we can't grow coffee or chocolate in America? Quick edit here. Gross oversimplification on my part. We actually can grow coffee in America. We cannot grow chocolate. However, we can only grow coffee in 3 states in America, and they are California, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. Because Puerto Rico is part of America, by the way. So, oversimplification here. My bad. Coffee and chocolate only happen in very specific climates. In fairness, coffee and chocolate are already at risk due to climate change. Terrific. If those things get heavily tariffed, you can expect the chocolate and coffee to become outrageously expensive because they cannot be made in America. Most of our bananas come from other countries. Wait, does Costa Rica have bananas? We might get our bananas from Costa Rica. Another quick edit here. As I was going through this, I realized that a couple times I've mentioned Costa Rica when what I meant was Puerto Rico. Costa Rica is not an American territory. I mean Puerto Rico.
I sometimes get those names mixed up. My bad, once again. It's just one of those kind of days, you know?
With the deregulation that Donald Trump has put forward in the past and what I expect him to put forward in the future, we can expect infrastructure to slowly crumble to dust, especially since he's, nixed various regulations in regards to safety and building. Watch my live stream to hear me go over all the things he deregulated. You might find that you're uncomfortable with some of the things Donald Trump has deregulated. These are, of course, the things that I expect to go wrong based on his direct actions as president. Women's rights, I expect to get worse. The climate, I expect to get worse. The environment, I expect to get worse. Deficit spending, I expect to get a lot worse. A lot. In fact, expect us to rack up huge amounts of debt under Donald Trump. Because that is the Donald Trump way, by the way. This is going to be bad for Palestinians. In fact, it's going to be fucking terrible for Palestinians since Donald Trump has basically said that he's going to let Netanyahu do whatever the fuck he wants. I hope you feel good about voting third party. I'm going to forgive you because I understand your idealism. However, you're fucking stupid. Or at least you're fucking stupid if you did that because you thought it would in some way help the Palestinians. That's absolutely stupid. Idealistic, but stupid. I'm sorry that you had to find out this way and become an adult. Things are going to get bad for Ukraine. We can fully expect that Donald Trump is not going to help Ukraine. In fact, I won't be surprised if this pretty much ends with Russia rolling the fuck over Ukraine as Donald Trump pulls our support from Ukraine and just fucking buries it. See, this is the thing. There's no positives. Donald Trump can't control the prices at your grocery store. He literally can't. And the Republicans stopped any effort the Democrats made to do it via any type of regulation. Deflation doesn't just happen. Prices aren't going to just go down, regardless of who the president is. Inflation is forever. You have to understand this. Prices don't just magically go down. The only thing that stops the prices of something going up is when we stop buying it. That's literally the only way to make prices go down, is to stop buying the things that are too expensive until those prices go down. Now, normally, this would actually cause tons of other economic problems because deflation or wide scale deflation is normally a sign that someone fucked up, which they have. Climate change is going to get worse since Donald Trump apparently doesn't believe in climate change, and under his presidency made a whole bunch of deregulations to be less helpful in fighting climate change. Terrific. Fucking terrific. This is going to be a short episode. These are basically just my predictions for Trump. Donald Trump will pardon himself of all his criminal actions, despite the fact that he is almost definitely an enemy of the American people. Donald Trump will probably do some criminal shit in office. Donald Trump will find some way to increase his own wealth. He'll probably try and cut taxes on the rich again and continue to push tax burden onto the middle class, which is what would happen with tariffs. This is the thing you have to understand. Rich people can still afford to buy whatever the fuck they need. That's what makes them rich people. If you're a rich person and you can't buy the fucking shit you need, you might be cash poor. Just saying. Fuck. This is my day off. Relax. America bought the bullshit. If Donald Trump actively pursues mass deportation, it's going to get dark. If Donald Trump actually puts together these fucking homeless internment camps, that shit's fucking dark. All the shit's dark. All the shit is dark. Donald Trump, if he goes through with his isolationist policies, is going to make America disadvantaged for, at best case scenario, decades. Donald Trump is actively going to do the opposite of make America great. You have to understand this. In the world of global power, America was already number one. America was number one before Trump. We don't talk about it a lot, but America controlled all the shit. Donald Trump wanted us to put less money into NATO. However, here's the thing you have to understand about putting money into NATO is that it's fucking voluntary. And the whole reason that America puts money into organizations like NATO and the IMF and the World Bank is so that America can have controlling votes in those fucking things. And if he starts to pull out of them, he's going to weaken America on the world stage. America was already great. In fact, America was already number one. We had the controlling shares of IMF and World Bank. We still do. But that might change if our economic position in the world changes. And tariffs might fucking do that. And global tariffs, wide scale across the board tariffs, might fuck everybody. Do you get me? Do you fucking get me? But these are just my predictions. The things I consider most likely to happen under the Trump presidency, if the Trump presidency does the fucking shit he says. By the way, I haven't even talked about the worst case scenario, by the way, which is that Donald Trump installs much more power in the executive branch under the Project 2025. If Project 2025 actually fucking happens, it will be a rise of Christian nationalism across this country like we've never fucking seen. And people will get hurt. People will lose their rights. Specifically, people in the queer community will lose their fucking rights. And who knows how this is going to start affecting other ethnic minorities besides people who are Latino and Hispanic, who are going to be under the deportation shit. By the way, also, just so everyone knows, all Puerto Ricans are American citizens. Just so you know. So is everyone in Guam. Interestingly enough, not American Samoa. They are American nationals. I don't fully know what that means, but it is worth Googling. So we stand on the edge of darkness. America has never been more divided. Fewer people voted this year, at least based on the numbers I'm seeing so far. Those numbers will probably continue to go up. Maybe I'll be wrong. Ironically, it is Trump who has made America ungreat. And yes, I deeply believe that. But here's your opportunity, Trumpers. Here's your opportunity to actually, you know what? Maybe I need to say this directly to Donald Trump, because I don't like these predictions. I'm not happy to sit here making these predictions. So now is the moment, or I'm just throwing it out there, where I say, Dear Donald Trump, now is your opportunity to prove me wrong. Don't do the things you've been saying you're going to do. Be a lame duck, do nothing president. Do your time and don't burn down this fucking country. Now is your opportunity to prove me wrong and not be the terrible fascist you appear to be. I'll be sitting here. I'll be waiting and I'll be watching. And I will be the first person on the internet to admit when I'm wrong. Now, to be fair, you got 4 years, and I can't totally write you off until after those 4 years. So, to my incredible dismay, while I am going to talk about other things on this fucking podcast and channel, I'm apparently going to keep monitoring the fucking Donald Trump situation. Prove me wrong. I want nothing more than for you to prove me wrong, because I live in this country and my children live in this country and my friends and my family, including those who are queer, live in this fucking country. So I don't want you to fail. I want you to succeed. I want this country to succeed. It's just a goddamn shame that every motherfucker with a right to vote doesn't understand how fucking grocery prices work. Maybe we do need to learn basic economics in school, and ethics, and civics. Because frankly, an uneducated populace is apparently far too easily motivated by vibes. And that's a fucking problem. Because vibes is how cult leaders get you. Vibes is how Hitler happens. Vibes is how Charles Manson happens. Vibes is how you end up in the jungle with Jim Jones. Because, and this is the thing. This is the important thing. Because the problem is, do you know, a lot of us here on the left even have trouble understanding why Trump is as successful as he is. But I'll tell you why Donald Trump is as successful as he is. I'll tell you right fucking now. Because the thing that people want more than anything is meaning. And the thing is that it's actually not hard to give people meaning. Because meaning doesn't have to be backed up by reality. Meaning is something you hold in your heart. So when people hear that they can be a hero by voting for Donald Trump, when people hear that Donald Trump needs their help, it makes it feel like they belong to something. Donald Trump has been successful because he is vague, because he does not nail down actual details. That is actually the secret of his success. Because the world is full of desperate people, desperately searching for the one thing that many of them don't know how to give themselves: meaning. Donald Trump gives a bunch of dumb fucks meaning. Now, they're not all dumb fucks. Some of them are just sad and lonely and misinformed. And voting for Donald Trump feels meaningful because of the way it's framed, because of the way that it's vague, because of the way that people can put their own hopes and dreams on Donald Trump, even though those are the last thing that you should be putting on a politician. And yes, he's a fucking politician. He ran for president twice. That makes him a politician. There are people in this country who believe that supporting Donald Trump is some type of revolutionary action. And believing that you are part of a revolutionary action instinctively gives a person a sense of meaning. That's why Donald Trump is popular. And I have bad news. That's the worst reason that anyone can be popular. Because that sense of meaning only means what you want it to mean. And people will cling to that sense of meaning harder than anything else. And that's what we've seen here today. In many ways, the failure of capitalism to provide meaning for the human being is why we are here. Donald Trump came selling meaning. Is that meaning based on bullshit? Yes. But he just needed one thing for you to believe in him. Because he is the new religion. Donald Trump is the new religion. And you should be worried. I'm going to leave it on that. Thank you for tuning in to Ruben Uncut. Stay safe out there. Try to have as good or whatever as you can, no matter who or where you are. You can email the show at rubenuncut@gmail.com. God save America.